Hello, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, good morning, whenever you are watching this. This is lesson 3.3, angles formed by transversals. Obviously, right from there, we've got some vocabulary to define. But our job is to identify angles formed by transversals. So we're going to have quite a bit of new vocabulary, and we'll spend some time practicing and learning that throughout the week. So let's take a look at our first word, a transversal. It's simply a line that intersects two or more coplanar lines, but at different points. So what we have are coplanar lines. So we've got a coplanar line here. We might have a coplanar line here. And then we have a transversal. So the green line there is our transversal. So I'll label that as T as our transversal. So it's just that line that intersects two or more lines. Corresponding angles are angles that occupy the same position on coplanar lines in a transversal. So I've got to start with that diagram that we just drew up there. These coplanar lines with this transversal, and they have to occupy the same position. So what that means is if I have a line that is above the coplanar line, angle that's above the coplanar line, and to the right of that transversal, I need to go down on the second line and find one that's in that same position. So I have to be above this line and to the right. So angle 1 and angle 2 are what we would call corresponding angles. Okay? So it's the same position on the coplanar line and the transversal. Let's take a look at what we call alternate interior angles. Obviously, having some sort of visual goes well with that. So maybe put a, let's go back and draw those lines. So let's draw in two lines. Let's draw a transversal in. All right, so it's two angles that lie between two coplanar lines. And so I think about that between as being inside the two lines, and inside refers to the interior of your house. So I'm in between the two lines, and I'm on opposites. That's what alternate means, alternating. So if I start out inside these two lines with angle 1, and I put my position in there, my second angle, that's going to be its alternate interior, has to be between them, but this time instead of being on the left-hand side of the transversal, I have to be on the right-hand side. So angle 1 and angle 2 are what we would call alternate interior angles. They're inside the two lines. We see both of them. They're inside, in between the two blue lines, but they're on opposite sides of that transversal. If we think of alternate exterior angles, so I'm going to do some highlighting. Red's for our alternate interior. Alternate exterior angles, let's do those in blue. It's the same things, but they lay outside the two coplanar lines. So outside is our exterior, but we're still on opposite sides of the transversal. That's where the alternate comes from. So if I put angle 3 up here, okay, my second angle, the angle that's going to be its alternate interior, has to be outside. So I'm looking here below my second blue line. But if I, instead of being on the right-hand side of the transversal, this time I need to be on the left. So angle 3 and angle 4 are what we would call alternate interior angles. And so if we look at the last one, same side interior. I'll underline that. Actually, I'll underline it in black so we don't have to get the same colors in there. So same side interior, we've already broken down this definition. Interior means inside. So it lies between the two lines. It's going to lie inside the two lines. But this time, they're on the same side of the transversal. So if we look at, mark an angle, if I put angle 5 here, all right, angle 5 and angle 2 are what we would call same side interior. Our alternate exteriors were our angle 3 and angle 4 from that diagram, and our alternate interior angles were angle 1 and angle 2 on that diagram. And so that's going to be a lot of what your homework looks like. Pick out the pair of their alternate interior. Pick out the pair of their alternate exterior. So let's start taking a look at those. We need to describe the relationship among angles. So let's look at angle 1 and angle 2. All right, angle 1 and angle 2. Well, the first thing I notice is that they are inside the two angles. So they're going to be interior, and they are on opposite sides. So they are alternate interior angles. All right, and as you can guess, guys, we'll eventually end up abbreviating here. We look at angle 3 and angle 4. I'm noticing that they're outside the two lines. So these are going to be exterior angles, and they're on opposite sides. 3 is on the left, 4 is on the right. So that's for being on opposite sides of that transversal, we use the word alternate, and because they're outside, we use the word exterior. And then last but not least, we're looking at angle 5 and angle 6. They're on the same side. They're inside the two lines. That is, same side. Interior angles. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. All right, so let's take a look. The follow-up. In the diagram below, label the transversal T, then label one pair of angles that fits the description. So we have a transversal T. I'm going to label this. The transversal is the line that cuts the other two lines. All right, I need 1 and 6 to be corresponding. That means angle 1 and 6 need to be in the same position. I can put them wherever I want. This is kind of like a blank slate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put angle 1 here. Corresponding means same position, other line. All right, so I am below and to the right. I need to be below and to the right. So here's where angle 6 can go. There's tons of corresponding angles we could have put on there. We could be above and to the left. We could be above and to the right. There's 4 different pairs we'd be able to have. This is the first one. More than likely, ladies and gentlemen, when you come in, we'll end up doing this, something similar to this as our warm-up on Monday. Angle 2 and angle 3 are exterior angles. So once again, are alternate exteriors. So I need to be on the opposite side, and exterior means to be outside the two lines. So I need to start outside, which means I can only focus here and here. So I'm going to put angle 2 here. I'm going to mark that with a 2. I then need to be opposite. So instead of being on the left, I have to be on the right-hand side, but I still need to be outside the two lines. So here's where angle 3 can go. This one's a little bit more limited. I don't have as many positions to put angles. We only have the 2 spots outside the lines. So you either have the left or the right-hand side outside. Angle 4 and angle 8 are alternate interiors, so opposite sides. But this side, we're on the interior. Now, what I forgot to do here, guys, is we've got to mark our T. We've got to mark our transversals. So here's our transversal. It's kind of a line that's running in the opposite direction of the others. So I need to be on opposite sides, so I'm either going to be above or below the transversal, but I need to be inside the two lines. So if these are my two lines, I need to be inside them, so I'm going to put angle 4 here. I need to be on the opposite side, so instead of being above the transversal, I'm below the transversal. So there's where angle 8 goes. And then last but not least, angle 5 and angle 7 are same side interiors. So same side means they're on the same side and they're inside. So here's our transversal T. So the two lines we're looking at are right here. I need to be in between those two, and I need to be on the same side. So if I put 5 here, I have to put 7 here. You could have put them both below, but they either have to be both above and in between the two lines, or below and in between the two lines. All right, so now what I'm going to do is list all pairs of angles that fit the description. Now remember before on the previous problem I said, okay, there's lots of corresponding angles. So basically I pick one and I work my way through. I should have 4 pairs here. All right, so I'm going to start, I read from left to right. So I'm going to look at angle 9. So angle 9 is on, look above this. We're above the transversal and we're to the left. So I need to come over to this other line on the right hand side. I need to be above the transversal and to the left. So that would be angle 13. I'm going to keep moving over. So then angle 10. I'm above and to the right. So I need to go to my second line, above and to the right. So angle 10. and angle 14. Notice, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not writing numbers. I'm writing angles. So I go back and put the angle symbol in there. We still have the below the transversal. So 11, I work my way from left to right. I'm below and to the left. Go over to my second line, below and to the left. Angle 11 and angle 15. And then last but not least, obviously we can see it's angle 12 and angle 16. But just double check, angle 12 is below and to the right. And so is angle 16. All right, I'm going to erase and start over, guys, because we have a whole other set of relationships to look at using those same 8 angles. This will always be our transversal. B, alternate interior angles. We're only going to have 2 pairs of these. Okay? I need to be, I'm sorry, alternate exterior. We still only have 2 pairs. So I'm looking on the outside. So once again, I'm going to read from left to right. I have to be outside the 2 lines, so angle 9 works. I have to be outside, so I've got to jump to the second line. So I'm either looking at 14 or 16 that are outside the line. I have to be on the opposite side in order to be alternate. So that means angle 9 and angle 16 are alternate exterior angles. The other exterior angle I have here is angle 11. I need to be exterior, so we're looking at this 14 and 16, and 14 is on the opposite side. It's above the line instead of below. So this is angle 14. Erase and start over. Let's take a look at alternate interior. Once again, we're only going to have 2 pairs here because we can only focus on 4 angles, the 4 inside the two lines. Because we're looking inside these 2 lines. I'm going to start with angle 10. Like I said, I start from left and work to right. So angle 10. I need to be inside, so I can only look at 13 and 15, and I need to be on the opposite side, alternate. So below the line is angle 15. Angle 12 is my next one. So angle 12. I need to be on the interior, so 15 and 13 are the only ones inside the line, and I need to be above instead of below. So angle 12 and angle 13 are my alternate interior angles. Let's erase. One last set. We need our same side interior. So if we look, I'm looking inside. So it's 10, 12, 13, and 15. I'm going to start with 10. I need to be on the same side and still in the interior. So angle 13 is on the inside and it's on the same side. So it's angle 13. If we look at angle 12, it's on the inside and the same side is angle 15. Alright guys, so that's a lot of stuff there, a lot of pairs, but like I said, we will spend quite a bit of time next week getting to identify these. But it comes back down to making sure you understand your vocabulary. Alright, this follow-up, I'm expecting you guys to do this. This is a check-in class. Alright, and actually, let me extend that, how many angles are formed. All right, and then complete the angles. This one we will do in class. I want to make sure you guys have that. And then we will talk about labeling our angles and then getting the correct pairs written in there so that we're all consistent there. All right, checkpoint. Describe the relationship between the angles in the diagram. Show. I'm going to do these first 3, and then you guys are going to do the last 3 on your own. So angle 2 and angle 7. I'm going to mark angle 2, angle 7. What I notice first is that they are outside of the lines. So I'm outside. And one is on the left, one's on the right, so they're on opposites. That's what we call our alternate or opposites. Exterior angles. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you'll see me alt angles. I kind of start abbreviating things. All right, let's erase and take a look at 3 and 5. So I've got angle 3, it's a different color, angle 3 and angle 5. So what I notice is they are on the same side, so right away I can start writing that. And they are both between the two lines, so same side, interior angles. Angle 1 and angle 5. Well, now they're on the same side, but one is inside and one is outside. So when I look a little bit closer, what I actually see is 1 is above and to the left, 5 is above and to the left. This is what we call corresponding. And if you abbreviate that, corresponding angles. All right? So your last job, you are going to do at home, check in class. Not finish in class, we're simply going to check those in class. Enjoy, ladies and gentlemen, one of my favorite lessons of the year.